Hello, hello. I'm Zachary Hines, and this is what you missed at the Straz. Welcome. I'm Zachary Hines, and I'm with the enchanting LeeAnn Day Douglas.
Enchanting.
So
Hello.
we were just talking about how I always introduce LeeAnn as either lovely or fabulous, which are both accurate descriptions, but I needed to change things up. So enchanting is the word of the day.
Okay, we'll go with enchanting. Thank you very much. Hello, everyone.
And it's kind of perfect because this last evening was pretty magical. Lots of magic going on.
It really was. Yeah, we had a good time.
Yeah, so we continued our unfortunate tradition of not dining together.
It is unfortunate. I think that's twice in a row.
We cannot make it a third.
No, next time we definitely have to go to dinner together. So,
Yes.
I got lucky last night, though. A coworker took pity on me and actually went and had a drink with me.
Where'd you go?
We went to the Continental, which is just across the street at the
Oh.
Barrymore Hotel. I got the grilled cheese, which was really good. I felt really bad for the waiter, though, because I didn't realize there were onions on the grilled cheese. And so it comes out, and you know my onion thing.
I
And so
do.
it's covered in onions. It's not even like I can pick them off. They're just,
On a grilled cheese?
which was really strange. And bacon was on there, too, which I was okay with the bacon.
Yeah.
But the onions I could not abide. So I told him, I said, I'm allergic to onions. I can't do the onions. And he said, we'll remake it or whatever. And then he comes back out and he said the tomato soup that comes with it is also filled with like pureed onions. He's like, so do you want something else? So they ended up remaking my dinner. But it was really tasty. It was really good. It was a nice experience.
Wow, onions sneaking their way into
They
everything.
sneak their way into everything. They really do.
It's like garlic, but I don't mind garlic. I just assume garlic's in everything. But onions, that's surprising.
Yeah, it's really, really difficult to eat out because onions are in everything.
But if you want to see Straz folk in their natural habitat, you can go to the Continental.
Yes, because it's right across the street, right after work. A lot of people just walk over there and have, a quick drink, or they have some coffee, or if they're working a double shift, they go over there and grab something to eat and come back. So yeah, you will run into a lot of Straz employees over there.
If only they had karaoke. If someone from the Continental is listening, they should start a karaoke night so they can fulfill my 90s Ally McBeal inspired workplace dreams. Because every episode of Ally McBeal, did you ever watch that show?
I did not.
Oh my God, I'm obsessed. I'm currently reliving it. And every episode ends with all of the people from the law office going to this bar where they would have karaoke because they had tons of Broadway people on that show who could sing. So that was their
Oh,
way to get them to all kind of
gotcha.
sing songs. And so we could really make my dreams come true, Continental, if you're listening.
Karaoke night. I love
So
it.
while you were sipping your wine and avoiding allergic catastrophe,
Yes.
I was hosting our very first night of our Out at the Straz happy hour.
I know. I went over there after I had my meal over at the Continental.
I know. I was so glad you were able to make it. It was so much fun. I was running around with my head cut off, so I couldn't fully let my hair down to enjoy it. But I think it was a really great start. It was really fun. We had a DJ and the ever so fabulous Adriana Sparkle, the bearded mermaid of Tampa Bay, as our drag queen MC. She gave mermaid-tastic performances of Part of Your World and Under the Sea.
It was fantastic. And this was all on our new Riverwalk stage.
Yes.
So it's right out on the river. It's really comfortable out there. I actually grabbed a table. A lot of people were standing because, that's kind of what you do at a happy hour drag queen thing. But it was really great. There was an organization there that it was part of it was benefiting.
Yeah, so
or-
each time we're trying to partner with a different LGBT organization. And so this first one we worked with Balance Tampa Bay. They're kind of a LGBT social and philanthropy-based organization. So they raise funds and awareness for other LGBT organizations. So they were a great start. They were great to work with, and definitely encourage you to check them out.
Yeah, it was really a fun night. I mean, it's something that if you're not part of gay culture, maybe you don't know, but drag queens are a huge part of gay culture. They always have been. Um, I mean, when I came out in my early 20s, I mean, that's what we did. We went to the gay bar. There were drag queens. It was fabulous. Some of them were gorgeous,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely gorgeous, like wow. And I did tip as they performed, and then some of them on purpose do the things like the bearded
Mm-hmm.
drag queen, like she did last night. So,
But even
um,
with the beard, I'm like, how are you so beautiful and perfect?
hmm
I mean, she will like make the beard in like perfect color with the wig, or it's unfair to have that much talent.
yeah, and she was great. She
Oh my God.
And I loved the Little Mermaid
Yeah.
theme. That was great. And that was of course because Once on This Island, which we attended, is kind of like the Caribbean version of The Little Mermaid. So you themed the whole evening.
Yes, yeah, we had a little kind of thematic element running through, and that was all her, because I was telling her about the show and the event, and she was like, well, should I theme my performance to the show? And I was like, well, if you want, but you don't have to, because it's not technically part of the show.
Right.
But she did, and I thought that really just added so much more to the event, that it generated excitement. I think a lot of people actually wanted to see. We sold a lot of tickets to the show that night, actually night of, I think because they were already there and they were getting more excited about the show.
Right.
So then they were like, well, now I'm here, so I want to go.
Yeah, I mean I'm already here. I want to see
Right.
it. So
And
what's the next out at the Straz?
so the next out at the Straz is going to be for Disney's Aladdin
Okay.
on Thursday, January 2nd.
Okay.
So we'll have a big gay kickoff to
Nice.
2020. And spoiler alert, uh, Adriana is going to be painting herself entirely blue, supposedly, to fully genify.
Well, she will probably grant all of my wishes that night. So that should be really, really fun.
Always, yes. Well, thank you for coming. I was really happy with the first go. And if you're listening and didn't get to check it out, definitely join us for the next one. It's free. There are drink specials, drag queens, and DJs.
Yeah, so let's talk about the drink specials. Sip was open.
Yes.
Sip is our Airstream bar that's on the River Walk. Converted an Airstream. It's probably been out there about a year now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they had what was the margarita that was the themed margarita? The sparkling margarita?
The sparkling margarita, or the rainbow margarita.
Yeah,
Um,
it had edible glitter in it,
it had edible glitter.
which I have never done before.
How amazing.
Yeah, and you don't even know it's there, but I saw things floating in my cup and I was like, what on earth is in my drink? And then you said, "Oh, there's edible glitter." And I was like, "Oh, okay, it's glitter."
Just like that.
Exactly like that. Yes. Sorry, I tend to do voices.
Do I sound like Mickey Mouse in your
No,
when
not
I
at all. Not at all. No. I do people's voices though.
Why, LeeAnn, that's edible glitter.
Actually, you do sound like Mickey Mouse right now. And that's themed with the whole Aladdin next time. Yeah, but it was really good. The margarita was really good.
It was so good. Last night was one of those moments where I was like, I can't believe I get paid to do this.
That is what I was chatting with some people. I play games on my phone, and I'm in a chat room last night, and I was sitting at the table listening to Adriana kind of dancing around in my seat, and then I hashtagged "my job is better than your job" because it's just true.
I know.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was one of those nights.
dreams coming true.
Absolutely.
So that was a fabulous pre-gaming experience before the show, and then we got to enjoy this amazing musical that I had never seen before. I've heard about Once on This Island since middle school, maybe. I think
Mhm.
that's when it was on Broadway, and I've never had I've always missed it. So I was so excited that I finally got to see it.
Yeah, I really wanted to see it when I heard the music. We were putting on a party when we announced the season. And so I listened to all the music from all the shows so that I can put together a playlist basically for the party. And I listened to the music and I was like, wow, this is really great. I want to see this show. And, you get really busy and your life just takes over. And I was like, if I was not podcasting this show, I don't know that I would have made it
Mm-hmm.
to the show. So I was really glad that we were podcasting this show because it made me go to the show. And it was really, really great. I enjoyed it. And it was a short show.
Yeah, 90 minutes, no intermission.
Which I wasn't expecting. So it's a good thing I didn't have 2 margaritas because without the bathroom break, I would have had an issue. But yeah, it was really, really great.
I saw one of my friends posted. She was also there last night, and I saw on Facebook she posted a picture of the announcement saying there's no intermission, and her caption was, "Hold my hand, tell me you love me, and that there's no intermission."
That's hilarious.
It is the equivalent of whispering sweet nothings in your ear.
So last night was, since it was Thursday night, it was our Thursday night Broadway signed performance. If you're hard of hearing and know sign language and want to go there, you can see that.
I always love watching the interpreters perform. I mean, that's really what they're doing, and they're so. I'm always just amazed by how skilled they are at actually dramatically interpreting the work. I don't yet know sign language, but every time I see it, I'm like, I need to learn. I really should, and it's also just a beautiful language. It's so expressive, and I don't know if it's just having a theater background and a performing background that I'm kind of drawn to that, but I loved watching them. I always loved looking over and seeing them. It's not just movement. They are actually acting out
They are.
the words very well,
They were
too.
very expressive. Yeah, and it didn't get in the way of the performance at all.
No, not at all.
If I just wanted to focus on the performance, it was very easy to block them out. And then when I really wanted to focus on them and see what they were doing in relation to what was being said on the stage, I was able to do that deliberately. So if you're ever thinking about coming on a Thursday night, you think it's more convenient, but you don't want to come because you're not sure about the signers, they really don't interrupt your experience.
Not at all. What are your thoughts on a easing into the show where they kind of start the show the second you're walking in? Because when you walk in, I didn't really get the full experience because luckily the gods were shining down on me because I was running in at the very last minute from my
You
event.
made it.
I made it. I couldn't believe it. I thought I mean, because I got there like almost 10 minutes after the start time, but I think because they had this pre-show stuff going on, it actually didn't start
Yeah, they
until
held the curtain.
Yeah.
Well, there was no curtain. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, but let's quote unquote, they held the curtain.
So for the listeners and myself who all missed out, can you enlighten me what happened?
Sure. So, okay. So, of course, I'm on my phone because I'm always on my phone. And so I get in the seat and I'm playing with my phone and I'm completely oblivious to the fact that there's no curtain down and that the show is actually, there's like this pre-show. So what it is there's no curtain that needs to go up. The actors are already on stage. You can already see the set. They are interacting with each other. So it's kind of this pre-show show. There are other shows that do this, but I can't think of which ones they are.
Well, like the Play That Goes Wrong most recently did that where,
yes.
And I think it was funny too because a lot of people, even ushers, were kind of unsure of whether it was like cast members or, there was a cast member running around like, where's my dog? Has someone seen the dog?
Yeah. So there are a couple of them that do that. And this was one. And I didn't realize this was one, but it's okay. And this one was also unique in the fact that it had stage seating. So there were guests
which was really cool.
Paid for tickets to sit on the stage. So that was really interesting. And they didn't get in the way of the performance at all.
I remember thinking about halfway through, I was like, I really feel like having the audience on the stage added so much to it
Mm-hmm.
because there's a lot of talk about, I mean, this show the revival production originated at the Circle in the Square Theater in New York, which is a very small, intimate theater. It's where Fun Home, which was here last year,
Mm-hmm.
um, started. And, the question is, how do these smaller shows, when they go on tour, how do they translate when it, is suddenly from an intimate room and now in the Morsani has what, 2,600
Right. And was Once
seats?
on This Island Theater in the Round?
Yeah. And it's theater in the
Okay.
round too.
So that's a little different because that's more like an experience in the Schimberg
Right.
Playhouse.
Right. And so I felt like having the audience on the stage, even though our side was bigger because we had the 2,600 people on our side,
Right.
it did make it feel a little more intimate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I liked it a lot.
And the production design was outstanding.
It really was. And the musicians were on stage as well.
Mhm.
And there were several very high, very large set pieces. And so there were musicians on top. There was a like storage container, like the big storage containers that come in on barges.
Right.
And so there were musicians on the top of that. And then on the left, what were they on top of? It was kind of like a roof.
Yeah, well, cuz it kind of felt like it was set up to look like a little kind of Caribbean island
Shanty
shanty
town.
town, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so kind of all the different found recycled elements that they used to build their living quarters and so it really felt like they were all gathering around this kind of public square to share this story.
Right.
So it was really kind of a story within a story almost. But so I mean, all the costumes and the sets were all of these kind of found pieces and found items, which was really creatively used.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really neat.
And just the effects, I was like, I mean, it's amazing sometimes when you see them make something really spectacular out of small things,
Mm-hmm.
things that are unexpected. There wasn't like a witch flying
Right.
from,
It
but
wasn't a Wicked.
right, but there
Yeah.
was still magic happening, which I think was really amazing, and it was surprising.
Yeah, they had sand on stage because it's a Caribbean little island where it's set, and
And they have
they
fire.
had fire and they had water. The water just amazed me, and I was thinking, oh
Mhm.
my gosh, whoever has to clean this up when they leave, because I couldn't tell if it was real water or if it was glitter, because sometimes when you
Right.
throw
Mhm.
glitter on stage, it looks like you're throwing water. So I hope that didn't just spoil that for people.
Yeah.
Um,
No, it was real water.
yeah, it looked like real water.
And even
So
I've never seen a real flame on stage in a very long time.
yeah, it was interesting. So it was really realistic. And I mean, I could see when they were moving things around, moving set pieces around on stage, and not a lot moved around, but there were
Mhm.
things like a tarp or something like that they would pick up and move. And sand is flowing off the ends of it because it's been sitting on the stage that's full of sand.
Right.
And that's so realistic because that's what would happen if you're living on the beach.
So let's get to the actual story.
Sure.
So as we said earlier, it's loosely based on the Little Mermaid story,
Right.
which is not many people know that Disney's The Little Mermaid is very different than the actual Little Mermaid story,
Right.
which this is closer to. It's not as happy.
Right.
Yeah. And so I thought it was an interesting story. They had it was what I found interesting was the gods kind of messing with humanity.
Right.
Just they're bored, so they want to see like how can
For their
we.
own amusement.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It reminded me of kind of like all the Greek gods stories
Mm-hmm.
and stuff, which I always
Yeah.
loved as a kid. And so I loved that. And really it's kind of a battle between love and death and which is stronger.
Right.
Um, I mean, I don't know. I kind of would have just been like, "Hey, Death." After the way the guy, I mean, so she find this very rich man, like kind of prince-esque, gets in a car crash, and Timoon, the leading our protagonist, she discovers him and feels like it's the gods sent him to her to heal, and so she heals him, and then he goes back to his family, and she needs to find him, and so she finds him, and then he doesn't remember her, but she's like, I healed you, I saved your life, and I'm in love with you, and
Then he uses her
he uses her to heal him fully back to health.
and throws her away.
Yeah, because after he's fully healed and she thinks that they're in love and getting married, then only is it revealed that he is already engaged to be married.
Yeah. Jerk.
Yeah, Daniel. I feel like he could have said that a little bit earlier. And he didn't
Right.
even tell her. It was his.
It was the fiance.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fiance was like, honey, I'm so sorry. But
Yeah. And so Death comes out because she, earlier, to save his life, she gives up her soul to Death to spare him. So then when she finds out that he is actually married, Death comes back and is like, "Hey, I'll if you kill him, you can have your life back." And then she's about to do it, but then she can't cuz she loves him, and then she turns into a tree.
yeah, but it's not just she didn't just turn into a tree. So she's basically outside the gates of his palace. It's not really a palace, but that's the best word I can come
The
up with right now.
resort.
Yeah, the hotel.
Mhm.
And she's just lying there for weeks at a time, and the gods basically kind of take pity on her and lift her up and take her into the sea and do all kinds of magical things, and they make her a tree. And she's a tree next to the hotel where he lives, and his children end up playing under the tree. And so she's, happy as a tree because she's still near him, and she's still doing things for him because she loves him. But yeah, I mean, she gets turned into a tree. I mean, that's not really a happy ending, That's not like getting your voice back from Ursula Witch and running away with the prince.
Right. I don't know how thrilled I would be with being turned into a tree. I mean, I get it that like it also was in the middle of that gate that she was waiting, so the gate could never be closed again or whatever.
Right.
And then their ancestors, finally a peasant girl and a rich boy, fall in love and can be in and stay in love or whatever.
Mhm.
But I mean, that's a stretch.
Yeah.
But but I liked it. I think I was talking to a friend who saw it, and I asked him, I was like, "What do you think the message of the show was?" And he was like, "I think it's the importance of storytelling and sharing stories so you don't repeat them."
I like that.
And I was like, I like that. I like that, it's learning from what happened and that's the point of the whole play, and that because the entire time the village is telling this story to the little girl.
And I thought it was more about pushing boundaries and creating change.
Yes, I would totally agree with that, because it's kind of the idea that you might not it's interesting that Out at Straz was that night, because I think
Mhm.
about that a lot. I uh, as a gay man in 2019 received lots of privileges because of people before me
Like
who,
me.
like you, who went out there and definitely and had a harder time being out, but because of their effort and their risk taking to make change, I've been able, like the ancestors of Timoon and Daniel, have been able to live a lot easier. And so I think that's, sometimes you don't necessarily see or reap the benefits yourself of making change, but it's still important.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just wanted to say, the voices of these actors that were on stage last night were fabulous.
Yes.
They were fabulous. And there was this one like Afro-Caribbean dance number near the end.
Ugh, the dancing.
Oh, it was so good.
I just want to see it again.
Yeah, it was a really good show.
It was amazing. If you have a chance to see it, if it's coming back or in another production, go see it. It's fantastical. It's amazing. We're going to be seeing Aladdin. Disney's Aladdin next.
Yes.
LeeAnn is a Disney file.
I love Disney.
Yes. So, and I have my Disney Plus. I'm catching up. Okay. So, we'll see if there's anything more for you to teach me.
Oh, we'll see.
I'm sure there is.
We'll see. I have lots of Disney stories, and not all of them have to do with the theater. So, because the Magic Kingdom is here, basically an hour away from the Straz Center. So,
yeah, it's gonna be a Disney. I'm going to Disney actually before we see this, so it'll be a very Disney-fied episode.
Very
next time.
Disney-fied. You're gonna have to bring me some ears, and we'll wear the ears while we record.
And I'll speak in my Mickey Mouse voice the entire time. All right, well, we will catch you next time. I'm Zachary Hines, and this is what you missed at the Straz.